We here?
Good morning. We are now live.
Good morning, everyone. 6 a.m. on the 26th of February. Happy birthday to my favorite. Now the other cousins. Hope nobody's watching. My favorite cousin, my closest cousin, who they always confuse me with. That's his
Dr.
birthday.
Nelson. I think Dr. Nelson is actually related to the world. Everyone's his cousin, or at least a brother and sister in some way.
Well, got our 51st cousins. This one is the closest to me in age. His birthday is 20 days before mine. So we grew up together, went to school together. He did the bad deeds, and then they played me because we looked a lot alike.
All right, don't forget to hashtag KMT. What's the
we'll do a Kiltz Cup.
Kiltz Cup. Yeah, we got lots of Kiltz Cups to share with the world, and it is another beautiful day in God's paradise. It is Thursday. Oh my God, 26th of February, and
in March.
We're marching on to March. March is quickly accumulating in our sights. We see it in the horizon. Really just so great. Everyone stopping in for the day. We really appreciate everyone stopping in for the moment. We got George, Jennifer, we got Terry, we got the real Dr. Nelson, not the fake one, although he's related to all of us, isn't he? And it's we're just Rick's here in the morning. We got Leon, we got Candy Cam, and thank you, Sean. We're expressing the purpose of life was just to participate and get online and chat with our brothers and sisters from Puerto Rico to Colombia to Italy and beyond. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm leaving for Irvine today. Going to go look at some other properties for expanding CNY Fertility and helping those that are suffering. Is most disease or all disease somehow an inflammatory process, Dr. Nelson?
Probably. Here we have our guest.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Another beautiful day in God's paradise, isn't it?
Indeed.
Yeah, it's so nice to see you.
It's so good to see you. It's been a while.
I know. It seems like yesterday, though, in so many ways. It's like, whoa, where did all the time go? It's just like it's at life speed for all of us, right?
Indeed.
I know Dr. Nelson is turning 20 soon, and I'm turning 70.
Woo!
Yeah.
The big 7-0. Do you have plans? What are you doing?
Just another day in paradise. Let's go to work.
We have
the number one plan is to get up and go to work that day.
2 weeks exactly from today.
Well, cheers to that.
I
turned 43.
Nice.
2 weeks ago Saturday. 2 weeks ago Sunday, February 15th. Gotta love the February and March.
What day?
Birthdays. February 15th.
The 15th? That is my birthday. That was Sunday.
Stop it. We're birthday twins.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I'm 43 also, I guess.
Yes, you are. You get to claim it for the rest of your life.
Yes. It's a great day.
Indeed. What are you guys up to? What's going on in your world? Do you have exciting new things happening? Same old. Exciting same things happening.
Moving forward every day, sharing the wisdom and the words of why keto carnivore faith and fat is where it's at. I'm in Scottsdale looking at offices for CNY Fertility, going to Irvine, sort of help spread the message and keeping and helping people heal standard messages.
Amen. Amen to that.
I've given up exercise. I've decided I'm just going to work out.
Work out?
I'm not going to exercise anymore. I'm going to work out. I'm going to go out and work. It's all the mission. My 30 years plus or minus 30 to go.
Dude, muscle is the organ of longevity. You got to keep the strength.
Well, the best muscle I've realized is my mind. And working and going to work and participating in life is like the most important thing for us to do. And so by moving, by going to work, we then work on the muscles. But the muscles are always moving, because if you're going to work, then you are continuing the mission, right, of the muscle.
The mission of the muscle.
Mission of the muscle, right? You got to keep moving, and that's why I gave up exercise and decided to go to work. And that's what we're doing here. And you're sharing the message of working out, which is strictly simply work, right? E equals MC squared, something like that.
And I'm blessed that working out gets to be part of my work.
Yeah, well, Peter goes to work and walks, like miles every day at his office, which is helping people gather and collect furniture so they could sit and lay on a couch and watch TV. And what you're doing is helping people get off the couch and go work out. But we don't call it exercise.
Actually, I don't call it working out, and I don't call it exercise. I call it training.
I love it. What are we training for?
So one of the things I teach my ladies when they come to work with me is, let's stop calling it working out, because I'm going to go do a workout, or I'm going to work out could mean anything, right? So when we step into an athlete identity, I am an athlete. I am training for a purpose. So training is different from working out because it has a purpose. What am I doing here? Why am I at the gym? It doesn't have to be at the gym. It could be at your home. A lot of my ladies work out at home, train at home. But we have training days where we are training our body for a specific purpose. And then you can have other workouts. You can have other forms of exercise and movement that enhance your life, enhance your recovery, because training requires recovery. Athletes train and recover properly. We're not training 7 days a week. We're not training hours and hours a day. Common misconception when people hear that I do bodybuilding: oh my gosh, I couldn't train 3 hours a day. Well, I don't do that either, especially as a 43-year-old woman. And I'm not encouraging. Most of my clients are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and some in their 70s. And we don't need to be spending hours of our lives at the gym or working out physically.
Although we can consider every place you're at is the training grounds for building your life every day. And it doesn't have to be a box with equipment. It could be the workspace where you're at. Like I'm in my office, and by simply standing or even doing sort of some stretching and some motion,
some squats.
What are your thoughts on the simplicity of helping people? You don't have to have gear. You don't have to go anywhere. You can do it right where you're at.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a common question I get is, oh, what do I need to buy? You don't need to buy a whole bunch of stuff. You don't need to buy anything. Your body is your vehicle through life, right? So there's a lot you can do, especially for folks who have been on the couch, who have not been doing anything yet. If the only thing you've been doing for your fitness, for your physical body, is walking or nothing at all, your body weight, especially for those who have excess body fat, excess that they're holding on to, that's weight on your body. If you do a squat, if a person with excess body fat does a squat, you're lifting more weight than I am when I'm doing a body weight squat. So you're getting an extra 20, 30, however many pounds you think in your head. Everybody always has this number that they want to lose, right? That's your resistance. For resistance training, you can do resistance training with your body weight, and you can go pretty far with that before you ever need anything excess. In fact, if you ever watch the really jacked, shredded guys at the playground, they're lifting their body weight on the playground in the inner cities, on the street corners, on the street signs. There's a lot that you can do with calisthenics, which is basically body weight training. So anything you can do picking up weights, you can do with your body weight. And that's a great place to start. In fact, that's where I would start for most folks who are not familiar with picking up weights.
What about your mindset? How important is our mindset in getting us to be motivated in moving or looking at our bodies, and what should we think of them?
Oh my goodness. There's nothing more important than mindset. Nothing more important. You can have the perfect plan on paper for nutrition, for fitness, for everything. You could be given every single step that you need to go from here to where you want to go. It's your mindset that's actually going to take you there. You are not going to do a single thing on that piece of paper that somebody wrote for you, the perfect plan, if your head is not in the game. So it is all about mindset, 100%. And it's probably a quote you've heard, we've all heard, right? Habits are more powerful than discipline, or habits are more powerful than motivation. We're not going to be motivated every day. We're not going to just wake up motivated. So we have to cultivate discipline, and that cultivates habits. And once something becomes a habit, it just becomes autopilot. This is why it's so difficult for us to make changes that are new for us. Changing our lifestyle, changing the groceries we buy, changing the food we make for dinner, getting up and moving when we just want to relax, because that's what we've taught our bodies to do for so long. We've trained without realizing it that we have actually trained our bodies to live a certain way and to act a certain way and behave a certain way through the habits that we're doing every single day. So if you've been doing the same habits of being sedentary and eating poorly for 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 years, don't think your brain is just going to go, okay, we're doing something new today. We have to cultivate the mindset first. And that comes from a couple of places. This is what I do with my ladies. I see Mary is on. Shout out to Mary. We just worked through this yesterday on a call. Getting clear on two things: the vision of where you want to go and the vision of where you are afraid you will end up if you don't make changes. So figure out, what is this pain that I am running from that I no longer want anymore? Whether it's physical pain, I feel pain in my knees, I feel pain in my back, I feel pain physically when I'm trying to do these things. I can't walk up a flight of stairs or sit on the floor with my grandkids, right? Whatever that pain is, or maybe it's an emotional pain. I hate being overweight. I hate not being able to do XYZ in my life. Whatever brings you pain, you need to get clear on that and see the vision of where you will be in the next 1, 5, 10 years if no changes are made, and get that really visceral in your mind, because that is the first thing that's going to push you to do something about it. We all started because we got fed up with something, right? We wouldn't have started this journey if we didn't have any pain that we could identify. So we have to start with, where do I not want to be and what am I running from? And then let's create the vision of where I'm going. Who do I want to be? How could, if I didn't have all these pains in my life? I like to start with the pain first, because a lot of people have a really hard time of identifying what they actually want in their lives because they've never had it before. If you've always been overweight, how do you envision what life would be like when you lose it? It's really hard to connect to that vision for a lot of folks. So I say, okay, what do you not want anymore? And then what's the exact opposite of that? If you didn't wake up with pain in the morning, find the words to describe what would that feel like. I would roll out of bed with ease. I would have energy in my morning. I would have clarity and focus when I sit down to work in the morning. I would be more present with my family. I would feel more gratitude in my life. I could show up better at work, as Dr. Kiltz shared. I could actually have a mission in my life. I could have a purpose in my life. I can move forward toward the things that I want to do because I would no longer be held back. Create that vision of what life will look like when you do make the changes that you're striving to make. And then every single day until you create the new habits, and those habits are just on autopilot, every single day I want you to look at the pain and look at the future you want. The future you don't want and the future you want, because every day when you're making those little choices, you may have already decided on action, but every day you're going to be faced with choices. Are you going to stick to that plan or not? I want you to see the pain and the future you're trying to create. And make those choices with that in mind.
So the mindset is the mission first, to see yourself as the success you want to be. And tell me a little bit about your community and how important community and coaching is for each and every one of us.
That's probably the next thing, right? We got our own mindset first, and then community is everything. Everything. Okay. I'm not going to go into the sordid backstory, but I have a history of disordered eating. It was at its worst when it's always two sides of the coin. When you're in the darkness, it's at its worst. Whatever your vice is, whatever your struggle is greater when you're in the darkness. What do I mean by the darkness? Alone. When you are trying to battle it alone, it will overtake you every time. As soon as I told somebody else, as soon as I started sharing, as soon as I started getting support, I started healing. That's where recovery began. So let me tell you about my Keto Bikini tribe. We are not all bikini competitors. I have a very small handful of actual competitors now, which I have to say I'm very proud of, because most of my ladies come to me never thinking that they would ever get on stage. And so it's a really beautiful, special community, because anybody who I've worked with who've been on stage did not come to me as a competitor, did not come to me already ready to get on stage. Let's do this. They came out of my community who had been with me for years and said, you know what? I'm turning 50. I'm turning 60.
70.
And I think I want to get on stage. Wow. And then we make it happen. Like it's just so exciting. I had 4 ladies step on stage for the first time ever last year. And this is the way I want to do it, right? I'm not in this community to convert all the bodybuilders over to keto and carnivore. That would be a waste of my time, because they're not listening to me. They love their carbs and they're not trying to get off the carbs. But my ladies who are in the keto carnivore community already, who are struggling, who have hit a plateau, who don't know how to get to the next step with their journeys. I've lost 20 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, and now I'm just skin hanging. I never started moving my body. I thought I could do it all with diet. They told me this, they told me that. I've been following all the gurus, I've been following all the influencers, and I'm not getting the results I want. So they come into my community and we start moving and we start training and we start building the muscle underneath that builds the foundation and changes your body composition. And in the community, it's the most incredible, supportive community for women, all women. Sorry, guys, not even Coach Bronson is allowed in the community. It's all the ladies, mostly, like I said, over 40, 40s, 50s, 60s. I've got a couple of 30-somethings, late 30-somethings in there. So a lot of perimenopausal ladies, a lot of postmenopausal ladies chatting with each other about the stages of life. I've got mamas of young ones, grandmas, everybody in between, career women. Just the support is everything. When you're struggling, we say speak up. Speak up when you're struggling. That is the time when you need the coaching the most. Everybody gets a coach, and then it's like hiring a housekeeper and you're running around trying to clean your house before the housekeeper comes because you don't want the housekeeper to see your house dirty. It's like, that's why you hired me. Come to me with all of your mess and lay it on the table. Because that's how I can help. I don't want you to come to me and try to be perfect and hide everything that's not perfect, because then I can't help.
I am perfect.
Help in the struggle.
I am perfect, and I love the place of people working for their perfection every day. And that's what the community is. Tell us a little bit about, how you got into this space. What were your trials, tribulations, and what was the thing that sort of took you to the next level?
Oh boy, it's been a long road. It's been about 15 years since I started my journey. 2011, it was heartbreak for me. I went through a nasty, I'm not going to use the A word, but toxic relationship in my late 20s. And I was turning 30. Sounds like forever ago. But I can say that I am in the complete opposite, 180-degree health in my 40s from when I was in my 20s. In my 20s, my health was a mess. I had all kinds of issues, from gastroesophageal reflux disease, migraines, ulcers, ovarian cysts, sinusitis. I was getting 4 sinus infections a year. I was overweight for my tiny little size. I'm 5 foot nothing. So I was about 30 pounds overweight. Didn't have the body composition that I have now. So lower muscle, higher body fat. And I had a lot of mental issues too. I mean, I was going through eating disorders, depression, anxiety, probably why I had the ulcers, right? From a very young age, when I first got my cycle, I had horrendous menstrual cycles. I know, Dr. Kiltz, you know a little something about that. And so I was popping ibuprofen like candy from 11 years old at the recommendations of my doctors to deal with the pain. Now at 43, I finally understand that I have had endometriosis this entire time that was never diagnosed. And I'm learning that most women don't get diagnosed for 20 years or more, or maybe never. And so a whole lot of these issues I never understood were related to inflammation. Of course, the way I was eating when I was younger. And of course, just the level of stress I had in my life. And this is one of the things I talk to my ladies about all the time, because what do we hear from ladies, especially in their 30s and 40s and 50s? They're taking care of everyone else while working full time, while having all of these social obligations, and the stress load is higher than they can handle. And then they wonder, I'm doing everything right with my diet. I'm keeping myself in the gym. Why am I not making results? Because we need recovery. We need nervous system regulation. We need to lower the stress. There's so much more at play here. So let's just say I was a mess in my 20s. Started going down the rabbit hole. Honestly, this is such a cool thing that it's Lent right now. And it was Lent 2020, 2010 and 2011 Lent, when I gave up dairy. That was the first thing that clued me into the fact that diet had something to do with my symptoms. My skin cleared up, my mood improved, I lost weight without trying. None of it was about that. It was about Lent. It was about a sacrifice. And yet people were noticing, things were improving. And so I thought, that's interesting. Of course, went right back to what I was eating before. And then the following year, I did it again, but I started reading labels. And that changed my life. Just because I was giving up dairy, I had to know what had dairy in it. And I started reading labels and learning what was in food. Oh my gosh, what are all these ingredients? What is all this? And of course, what's made with dairy? All baked goods. So the second year, everything that went with the dairy was the breads and the pastries and all of that, all the sweet stuff. And that led me down a rabbit hole that ultimately led me to paleo, Whole30, the GAPS diet, all of the healing diets that ultimately then led me to keto and carnivore. And now I live this ketovore, beautifully flexible life. Still don't eat grains, still mostly don't eat dairy, but I can enjoy things because I've healed my gut. I can have more variety when I want it. And most of the time I thrive on animal-based products and a few extras here and there. And it's pretty amazing. But there's life on the other side of all of that.
Dr. Kiltz, you have a lot of variety in your...
Bacon, eggs, butter, beef, salt. I throw in some ice cream from time to time, but that's it. Really simple, easy, narrow.
Added fish in there, right?
Sometimes, but not. It's bacon, eggs, butter, beef, and salt. Remember, our diagnostic testing is to scare us.
I couldn't live without my salmon daily. I do a lot of.
Well, no, you could live. Salmon. You could live
daily. You have salmon daily?
Yes, I absolutely love salmon. Every day.
I love it.
I love.
Again, I can't live without something. I can't live without something is a statement which is highly untrue. You do enjoy your salmon as your. I mean, your diet is probably much more narrow than it's ever been.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And you know what's funny? This is why I love you, Dr. Kiltz. You just did a Coach Nat to Coach Nat. All my ladies are probably laughing right now because they're like, ooh, because I do that to them all the time. I'm like, watch your words. Language has power, and those words that you're using have meaning. And you're right. I absolutely can live without salmon. I choose to enjoy it every day.
I mean, but a very narrow diet is probably the healthiest thing for all of us, whether it's salmon or beef. But the problem is we eat the fillet. We don't eat nose to tail when it comes to fish, that's why anchovies or sardines or things like that. But this whole fish, because no other animal eats just the fillet. That's why, like beef tenderloin or the fillet is missing the organs and the fat. And so even in fish centric world, I think, but they're maybe getting it other ways, but that's, one of the things that we miss, I think. And the one thing about fish that I'm concerned about, it lives in the most toxic environment. And that's a little bit my concern. But I do love salmon too, by the way.
Yeah, and different types of fish. Oh my gosh, when I first started bodybuilding, I ate tilapia. I will never touch that again for the rest of my life.
Oh, wow.
And I don't do shrimp either because they're bottom feeders. So I am particular with the seafood that I select. But Papa Carnivore has a good question here.
Coach Nat, are you keto, carnivore? What do you eat in a typical day?
And he wants to know how many times. Yeah, that was the next.
How many times a day? So I typically will eat 2 or 3 meals a day. And usually that consists of beef and or lamb, usually ground because it's the most available and most affordable. But I will do steaks and things, of course, whenever I restock. I'll do steak until I run out. And then I go to my, and I do all different steaks. But I'll tell you, my newest favorite is flat iron. I've started getting flat iron and I'm absolutely in love with it. But then I'll usually do salmon for lunch, eggs, And then sometimes I'll do chicken, or, I do bacon occasionally. But usually it's beef, lamb, eggs, and salmon daily, and then some chicken and pork thrown in there from time to time. I love mackerel too. That's another one of my favorite fish. And right now I just picked up a bunch of cod because it's Lent. So on Fridays, I'll be doing fish Fridays. So it'll be seafood and eggs on Fridays. Which is a challenge, which really is a challenge when you're a carnivore, because I do love my red meats.
But I mean, essentially, a carnivore eats animals and a herbivore eats plants. And what you see keto? I mean, it is, we are omnivores, and eating some plants from time to time is not our problem, I believe. Properly processed and added fats from an animal, not from a plant. Oils are deadly for humans. It's like crude oil, things like that. So,
yeah. When I say keto, I guess I say ketovore because it's like very, very low carb carnivore.
No
carnivore.
So no plant carnivore.
The plants that I consume are coffee, coconut, because I don't do dairy, so I'll do coconut-based products for my creamers. From time to time, I've played with Greek yogurt, trying to add in some dairy again and let my body get a little used to it. I seem to be able to handle that pretty well when I don't do too much of it. So either Greek yogurt or coconut-based yogurt, and then sauerkrauts. I love to try different kinds of sauerkraut. So the fermented vegetables is usually where that's pretty much it. When it comes to veggies, I might do some olives and some pickles, things like that, naturally fermented. That's pretty much it. From time to time, I will do more carbs, but very occasionally, like I might do purple sweet potato or carrot.
Can we get this question from Alia?
Oh, yeah. How does the carnivore diet fit into the muscle of longevity?
So muscle on your body is the organ of longevity. I'm borrowing that from Dr. Gabrielle Lyon.
Yeah.
But carnivore diet is so perfect for bodybuilding, for building your body. I say bodybuilding. You don't have to be a competitor to be a bodybuilder. If you are training with resistance, if you are lifting weights, if you're lifting your body weight, as we talked about, you're building your body. You're building the muscle tissues of your body. We need protein to build the tissues of our body. We need those amino acids. We need fats for our energy because we're not getting energy from carbs when we're carnivore. So you will hear in the fitness space, especially in the bodybuilding space, you need carbs to build muscle. That is not true. That is not true. And there's a lot of science to debunk it these days. You can check out my guy, Coach Bronson, who shares a lot on the science of why you don't need.
What about the glycocalyx?
What about the glycocalyx?
We actually require sugar.
But we do not require carbs.
No, we don't require plants.
We do not require dietary carbohydrates to get sugar.
Yes, we do. This is the little mythological part about this crazy story. Every cell of every organism contains glycans, sugars. A sugar is a carbohydrate. The science is what gets us in trouble because we don't require plants, but we require sugar.
Right. We don't have to ingest carbohydrates in the form of food to get what we need in our body.
Again, the glycocalyx is the sugar layer on every cell of every organism. So when we eat anything, we are technically eating protein, amino acids, fatty acids, and sugars. So because when we say you need protein, we say as if you don't need sugar, but that is a scientific fallacy that we're missing. We don't require plants, but the glycocalyx, look up the glycocalyx and the biome and glycosylation, which is something that we're missing in our keto carnivore world. But we don't require plants. We require fat. Fat is the most number one requirement in the human body. Either eat it or make it. And that's the mythologic part of this. When we use the word carbohydrate, we're talking about sugars, correct?
Well, we're talking about more than sugars, but yes, ultimately all carbohydrates break down into sugars. Yes.
Carbohydrates are sugars. They're
Yes.
either simple sugars or complex sugars, but
Right.
they're sugars in the glycobiology. And so that's the part, because ultimately our blood type is determined by a sugar. Our human leukocyte antigen is determined by a sugar. And so your sperm and egg cannot connect without sugars. And so we make protein so powerful, but it's not. It's actually just another particle in the molecular milieu of a life form. And sugars are critical. And so I think we should say plants are not required rather than the word carbohydrate, because when we use the word protein, we're talking about a molecule, right?
Right.
Are there sugars in meat when you eat it? There are.
Yes. Yeah.
There are. There's an amazing, there are 9 sugars in the human body. And we don't talk about that. That's, again, you're right. When we use the word carbohydrate,
we're saying the same thing with different words.
But when we use the word, but we're being scientific, right? When we use the word,
I'm not scientific. I don't claim to be scientific. That is not my purview. I use words that humans can understand.
Right. Me too. That's why I use the word plants and animals and whole cells, whole organisms, right? Because if you eat a whole plant or animal or combined diet with lots of fat, and all the organisms contain sugars, amino acids, and fatty acids with all the minerals and vitamins, then you're getting everything you need. But plants in general are part of our downfall. And that's one of I think our biggest problems. But the mindset that you're saying, I always go back to the mindset, because I don't care. Like, you could be on a gurney in a hospital, unable to move from a stroke, but you have your mind. And if you tap into that, isn't that really the true muscle of your life in some way?
Absolutely. Like I said, we won't do anything else if we don't have our mind in the right place, right?
Yeah.
We can't, our arms and legs don't move themselves, right? Our bodies don't just move themselves. It's all CNS, right? So if we don't have this in place, forget everything else. There is nothing else. We will literally forget if we didn't have our brains.
And there's a magic of the mind and motion of the body, even in a dream, that has power and beauty for all of us.
Yes, our minds are a powerful, powerful thing.
And I apologize. I didn't mean to get off track for you here, Nat, because I highly love everything you're sharing. And I think, again, your community is one of the most amazing, because we need the connection and physical motion and a connection to others that are helping us do that is one of the life-changing events. And social media, tell me a little bit about your social community versus the in-person community that you're touching in the world.
Yeah, so my entire community is virtual, actually. I don't do any training in person. Every once in a while, I'll get to go to events and hang out with you and meet my community in person. And I absolutely love that, because these days, right, we don't have a whole lot of that anymore. I don't have a whole lot of that at all. So the grand majority of my community is online. My larger community is in my Facebook group, Keto Bikini Secrets. And that includes members and clients and everybody else. It's free and open to anyone who wants to join. So for my ladies who are looking for advice when it comes to building your body, changing your body composition, getting your mindset on board, sticking to your nutrition plan, holler at us. We will help you along, push you along, give you that extra and support and love in the community. But also I'm on Instagram and YouTube. YouTube, same as Facebook, at Keto Bikini Secrets. And I do live chats like this. We have now reduced those down to once a month, and that is happening tomorrow, 4th Fridays at 4 p.m. Live chat with Coach Nat on my YouTube. I do a live chat on Sundays with my guy, Coach Bronson. We do that every Sunday, and that's called Keto Rehab Coffee Chat. We do that on Instagram and on his YouTube at Coach Bronson. And then my Instagram is at the Keto Bikini Pro. We now also have a page for my academy. That is for all of my paid members and clients who want to work with me either one-on-one or do group coaching. And that is called Keto Bikini Academy. And we have our own page for that. Thank you for pulling that up. And then I also have a page where I share all my food and recipes, and that is called Keto Bikini Kitchen. Got so many questions for recipes and things. I said, okay, I got to have somewhere where I put all of this. So you can dive in there and get my recipes there. No recipe book yet, but I'm working on it. That's been something that's been a request for years. So I need to make that happen.
Our cookbook is about 20 pages.
It's maybe too simple.
Maybe 5. I mean, maybe we've made food like a complicated science that like most people think, oh my God, I
agree. And I'm always saying, ladies, keep it simple. Stop looking for these fancy recipes with a million ingredients. It's just making this lifestyle more difficult. Right. It can be so simple, right? You pick your meat, you pick your fat, you add some salt or another seasoning. I'm not one of these people who demonizes seasonings. I love me some seasonings. I'm a Greek and Italian girl, and I love me some seasonings. So I'm going to be putting my za'atar or my shawarma or my rosemary and garlic and all this good stuff on my spice. Yes, Bubbles said meat and spices. Yes, ma'am. Exactly. Keep it simple. So that's my cookbook. I said, when I do come out with a cookbook, it's just going to be a template. Pick this, pick that. Here you go. If you want to make it, if you want to include dairy, here's what that would look like. If you want it to be dairy free, if you want it to be purely carnivore, if you want it to be keto, like simple little changes. It can all be the same meal, and you could literally call it a different labeled diet. But I don't like the labels because the labels divide. And I'm sure you feel me on that, Dr. Kiltz. The labels are not having.
I have a question.
In many ways.
This guy here has a question. What is the biggest mistake women over 40 make when trying to lose fat while maintaining muscle?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Biggest mistake is not eating enough. Not eating enough. Just chasing the fat loss, chasing the weight loss on the scale, focusing on the scale and just always wanting to see that scale go down. Muscle is dense. So when you're building muscle, especially if you have a lot of body fat on your body, you can build muscle and lose body fat at the same time, and the scale is not going to go down as fast. So if you're chasing weight loss at all costs, and now I have to fast, and now if I eat more than 800 calories, I hate that term, but if I eat more than one meal a day, now I'm gaining weight, and that's bad, and now I need to eat less and less and less and less until you're living on air. That is going to downregulate your metabolism, and then if you are trying to eat more, you're going to start gaining again. And a lot of ladies come to me having underfed for a very long period of time, have downregulated their metabolism, and they cannot handle eating much, and they're petrified of gaining weight on the scale.
Why are we afraid of fat?
Afraid of body fat?
Yeah.
Because well, I'll be perfectly honest, the ladies that come to me, they hate the way they look and they hate the way their body looks.
Mindset.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to tell a woman, just stay overweight,
Didn't say that. Didn't say that.
stay
Lead.
over fat and under
Lead.
muscled and love yourself there. I'm sorry, I'm not one of them. I'm not going to do it.
I didn't say that.
It's perfectly okay to
No.
want to change
Right.
your body.
But the mind leads with where you want to go. And I think that's what you're partly saying. My point a little bit is we hate fat, but that's one of our biggest problems because most people lose weight, but they gain it again because they're chasing the wrong beast. And even in the workout world, all of the worlds of dieting fail because they're not leading with the mind master, which I love my beautiful, sculptured, amazing muscular body is essentially, I think, what you say in all of this, because people want to change and they, we go to school, we do everything for change. It's going to happen no matter what you do, by the way. But ultimately, we are fat phobic. And is there a natural cyclicity to our bodies? And we're trying to control it. And controlling the beast is our biggest conundrum.
This is, I do agree that we tend to just so focus on the things we don't like, right? And yeah, then we're going to get more of them. We're going to get more of that. Absolutely. So this is why I push women to focus on the muscle, because when you focus on building muscle, the fat loss happens naturally. It's
one of the, well, much of your work is through resistance work, not cardio work. And so in the resistance work, you actually utilize more energy than you consume in general, if that's the case. And, because ultimately there is a mass formula, energy in, energy out, and the problem is we don't know how to calculate that.
Yes.
That's our biggest problem. Right? Like I don't ever eat and I keep gaining weight. Well, it's not air that's making you fat.
Yes.
More water.
Yeah. It's not the water and it's not the fat. It's not the air. I love that. Yeah. I'm gonna have to borrow that one.
My body is perfect in form and function.
Ooh, I love that mantra.
And as we're doing the work
yes.
of perfect form and function, what you desire begins to show up because you see it already. That's the part that I think is the most masterful part. And that's the part that coming into a community like Nat's is so critical and important. And you're right. Listen, I'm a scientist, but the science is snake oil. Scientism, I call it. It's all BS, right? You know what you need to do in order to get to where you want to go. And you can eat some plants, you can eat some animals, but if you focus on the motion of a lion, the lion will show up.
My body is perfect in form and function. I'm taking that with me. Thank you, Dr. Kiltz. This is one of the things I love about you so much. We chatted about you last night because I was on my call with my ladies. I said, I'm going to be on with Dr. Kiltz in the morning. Come join us. And I said, I just love his energy. I love his positivity. I love his love, right? Like you are all about love and light, and you can't fail in that situation. That term failure is another thing we use, right? I'm failing, I'm a failure. Yeah, that's gonna be a self-fulfilling prophecy if we say that. We say we don't fail on anything until we're dead, because as long as we're still here, we have another chance.
And the microbes or the macrobes that are eating you as food or fertilizer are like really excited because you're such a fantastic food. That's our job, right? Make ourselves the best food and fertilizer.
We're still giving back. Even in death, we're giving
back. I love it.
Oh, that's
All
awesome.
right. So, any questions that we have coming up
I
there?
don't think there's any other questions here.
So your current mission and your day-to-day work to help others, what motivates you to get up every day and do that?
My ladies do. They are my why. They are my why. Have been for the last 10 years or so since I started coaching, since before I started coaching. When I needed a mission, when I needed a purpose, when I thought about what do I want to do, what's my why, it was being a coach. Before it was even a thought in my mind, it was like changing the identity, right? Changing the identity. Who do I want to be? So it's about them. It's about showing up because I want them to experience the same freedom I've experienced. Freedom in the way I can move my body, freedom in the way that I can experience my life, and fully being present in my life, experiencing the life I want to experience. 100%, not having to hold back because I'm ill, because I'm not well, because I'm in pain. I don't want them to have that. That's my mission. And I say it's making women the CEO of their bodies and their lives, stepping into that CEO role and not letting it be controlled by food, by others. Run the show.
Is the government going to fix us?
I'm not waiting for that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
When you cook meat, what temperature? What do you like it to look like?
I like a medium, Goldilocks, right in the middle. I'll probably lean toward, depending on the cut, I'll lean a little more medium rare. But usually
Papa Peter says people are afraid of fat because the mainstream media and doctors tell them that by eating fat, it makes you fat and is bad for your health too, which is like the biggest lie ever laid down for the lions that now are domesticated sheep. But we're now learning that it's really simple. Eat the fatty meat, become the masters of the universe, and work out with Nat every day. And by the way, Nat's is focusing on the ladies, but actually that's helping the men. So thank you.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
I can't tell you how many families are changed. Men, children, everyone is changed for the better when women step up to the plate for their own health. Ladies, please stop putting everybody else first, and then nothing's left for you. So this is when you go to all the junk, and this is when you stay up too late, and this is when you don't get your sleep and you don't get your movement, and you're not feeding yourself well because everybody else matters more than you. When you start putting your oxygen mask on first, everybody else is better for it.
Correct.
And then guess what? Everybody else jumps on board.
Where do you think you would be without the suffering you had? I mean, can we look at our suffering and our bad relationships or addictions as God's gift to us to strengthen us? Because, again, things are neither good nor bad except whatever you think they are. But at some point you could look back and go like, oh, shit.
I'm so
he
grateful.
was there. He was there all the time. What are your thoughts on that idea?
So grateful. I'm grateful for every struggle, every single one of them. I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't be who I am. I'm so grateful. I'll never forget the nights I called out to God, why? Why am I going through this? Well, now I know why. It was part of my mission. It was meant for the mission. So if anybody is out there struggling right now,
A mission.
There's a greater purpose. You're here for a reason. You're going through what you're going through for a reason. there is life on the other side, and you might be able to help people on the other side. That's another really cool thing that I've seen over the years is women that I've coached becoming coaches themselves and being able to help others. It's because they created that success for themselves first. So you just don't even know who you might be inspiring when you're making these decisions for yourself. Keep going. We got a question about salmon here. I'm happy to answer. What is my favorite way to prepare salmon? I'll tell you, I'm lazy and simple when it comes to food. So I buy a lot of smoked salmon so I don't have to prepare it at all. I just eat it right as is. Or I'll do like fillet, salmon fillet in the air fryer with the skin side up, or under the broiler with the skin side up so the skin gets nice and crispy. Dr. Kiltz knows the fat is in the skin, right? So don't take the skin off. Don't buy the stuff without the skin unless you're buying smoked. Or I also have, for in a pinch, I've got canned salmon. So I keep canned salmon, canned mackerel if I'm just in a rush and I want to just eat out of the can. And then I will eat it with the oil as well that it comes in. And I don't buy it in the seed oils. So don't buy the ones with the seed oils. Make sure you read those labels.
Yeah.
Because they will sneak it into everything. Like I said, I like to eat olives. There is no reason olives should be packed in anything but olive oil. But most of the olives, most on the shelves are in soybean oil or some other crap.
Olive juice.
Oh.
Juice, yeah. Because it's
the olive and the
juice.
Olives. I mean, ultimately, olive oil is an industrial product, and olive juice, again, the water and salt, that's probably the best way to do it. But I agree with you. I love olive oil. I love olives. And I don't think some plants, small amounts from time to time, are a problem. It really is a low-fat diet that's our biggest killer, because amino acids from proteins are fermentable and they damage the liver. And so that's why we've been myth. A high animal fat diet is actually the healthiest diet you could be on. Randomizer 923.
Congratulations. Please email me, alia@drkiltz.com, and we will get you your Kiltz Cup made by Dr. Kiltz. There we go.
Each one individually and unique, just like you are, by the way. And
I'm going to ask Lisa Gal a question. Lisa Gal says, I have bought smoked with the skin. Love it. I would love to find out where you buy your smoked salmon with the skin, because that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
I got to figure out where I can get some of that.
Yeah,
this
how
is
many
your
people?
Your channel, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
How many people eat rice cakes in order to, it's like so many people are eating this processed crap.
I don't understand the rice cakes obsession in the bodybuilding world. It's
well, it's all based on the calories in, calories out.
Well, carbs. Framework. It's carbs.
Yeah,
it's the concept that carbs are your energy, and they're not. Glucose is never the energy for mitochondria, ever.
Yeah, they think of carbs as the preferred fuel source of the body, and so pure carbs like rice, they live on a lot of rice cakes, everything is oats, rice, and potatoes. It's pretty much what bodybuilders are eating for their carbs.
Nat, it's really wonderful having you here today. Say out a coach for us also. We love you guys.
I will. I tried to get him to stay a little longer to say hi, but he had to run off to work.
Yeah, we'll get him another day. We love you guys.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thanks for having me.